Okay, now let's move into the A progression. This is the other part of the Jimmy Rogers equation. So if you're going to play, a lot of his songs are in an E position, what I call an E position, where he's playing out of the E shape and plays an E, A7, B7, just a 3-chord 1-4-5 progression. Other times, on a few of his songs, he's going to play the same basic style with the thumping single string, bass, but he's going to play out of the A. So let me just play one example. He has a couple songs. Ludella is the one that comes to mind where he does this, and he's got a few others. So he plays an A. I'm just going to play the progression, no introduction, no fills, no nothing, just real straightforward. So let me do it one time. Alrighty, a little rough, but it's hard to play that without putting any of the fills or any of the fun stuff in. Starting out, the 1 chord is an A. So I got my first finger here, and I'm going to use the A7th shape that I showed you before. But I'm also going to use this long A. This is a chord a lot of country blues, country blues guys, Mans Lipscomb, Lightning Hopkins, they played out of the A position. So a long A, I just make the A chord with my first finger and then take my pinky down to the 5th fret of the 1st string. And again, my monotonic bass is my open 5, my open 5th string. And a lot of times he'll bounce back and forth between this A and the A7. You'll hear this. You can do all kinds of rhythmic variations with that. Then when he gets to the 4, he's going to go to a D7th chord, but instead of playing it like this, he plays it like Robert Johnson and a lot of other country blues guys play this. Going to use his thumb, I'm assuming, to get the 2nd fret of the 6th string. And just like all the other bass things, we're going to mute that with our left hand palm, right hand palm. He's got his first finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string and his 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and he's got open 1st string. You get this D7th, almost a minor sounding D7. And you can just play the 2nd and 3rd strings, or you can throw in the open 1st. Or you can go with your ring finger, you can go to the 2nd fret of the 1st string. So you can do this. We'll get to that later. So that's the 2nd chord, that's your 4 chord, and we'll show you some stuff to do with that. Then the 5 chord is just your E again, E7th. And it's usually an E7th on the turnaround. He doesn't hardly ever use just an E. If you're going to play the E as a 5 chord, you're going to use the 7th. So my pinky is on the 3rd fret with the 2nd string. Then he goes to the 4, and then the 1. And he does this kind of on Ludella, which is the song I'm going to model this lesson after. He's still thumping on the bass. He goes to the A, to the E, back to the A, back to the E. Kind of a quick chord change for the turnaround and stuff. Again, this is without any fills or single string runs or anything. So let me show you this one time. So he gets to the end of the verse. Let's go from the 5. So he's going to the A, A7th real quick, to the E7th, back to the A. That's a little simple chord turnaround. So just playing the monotonic bass and the chords. So the A progression, we're using A with long A to A7, and we're going to a D7, then back to the A7, back and forth, then an E7 to the D7. There I'm bouncing off the second fret of the first string, back to the A7, E7, A. Now a lot more you can work in there, and we'll come back to this progression and work on some fills and little rhythm things after we go through some single strings and turnarounds and intros and all that fun stuff. So if you want to get started with the Jimmie Rodgers style, you got a progression out of the one chord with the, a progression with the E as the one chord, and you got a progression with the A. Going back to the E real quick, if you want to make it an F, you just put your capo on the first fret, and then you got an F, play the E shape. Just like that. And you could move it down. The farthest I've heard him come down is to the 3rd fret and play out of the key of G. He does that on a few of his tunes. Actually, there's one, Walking by Myself, where he comes to the A and actually plays out of with the capo on the 5th fret. If you have any questions about this lesson, any comments, let me know. My advice is take this, work on it, and then listen to some of Jimmie Rodgers' slower tunes. Tunes like In the Evening, Ludella is a slow one in the key of A, Left Me with a Broken Heart, The World is in a Tangle. These are all slow Jimmie Rodgers tunes, and he's got others too. My Little Machine is a good one, and I'll show you a lot of licks from that one. So let me know if you have any questions. When I come back, we'll start working on introductions and learn some introductions to Jimmie Rodgers songs that you can use to kick off these progressions.